So let's move on lesson 3, which is study of criminal behaviors. Freud postulated the existence of three-part personality consisting of id, ego, and superego, which operated in instant conflict with one another, producing the basic problem of guilt, which required the use of one or more defense mechanism. First one is id. Id is a part of the unconscious that contains all the urge and impulses, includes what we call libido, a kind of generalized sexual energy that is used for everything from survival instincts to appreciation of art. The id is also kind of stubborn, for it responds only to what Freud called the pleasure principle. If it feels good, do it and nothing else. Next one is ego. Ego is the only part of the conscious personality. It's what the person is aware of when they think about themselves and is what they usually try to project toward others. The ego is dominated by what Freud called the reality principle, an orientation to the real world in which the person lives. The next one is superego, is a part of the unconscious that is the voice of conscience, doing what is right, and the source of self-criticism. It reflects society's moral values to some degree, and the person is sometimes aware of their own morality and ethics, but the superego contains a vast number of codes or prohibitions that are used mostly unconsciously in the form of commands or don't statements. These ideas revolve around his terms for the three stages of early childhood. First one is the oral stage. Ages is 8 to 2 is when a person develops their sense of satisfaction or satiation of figuring out how much is enough of food and drink, which has implication for much of an either drinker or smoker a person in adulthood. In anal stage, age 2 to 30 is when a person develops their sense of orderliness, of figuring out their preferred levels of cleanliness, uh, as and toilet training. The genital stage, age is 3 to 4, is when a person develops their sexuality, of figuring out their sexual preferences and whether they are capable of real love or not. Male children go through what is called an Oedipus complex with a comparable Electra complex. Classification of behavior. First one is normal behavior, adaptive or adjusted behavior. This is the standard behavior, the totally accepted behavior because they follow the standard norms of society. Next one is abnormal behavior or maladaptive or maladjusted behavior. This is a group of behavior that is deviant from social expectation because they go against the norms or standard behavior of society. So we have kinds of behavior. The first one is overt or covert behavior. This is a behavior that are outwardly manifested, or those that are directly observable are overt behaviors. On the other hand, covert behavior are behaviors that are hidden, not visible to the naked eye. Next one is conscious or unconscious behavior. This behavior is conscious when acts are within the level of awareness. It is unconscious when acts are embedded in one's subconscious was unaware. Next one is simple or complex behavior. These are acts categorized according to the number of neutrons involved in the process of behaving. Simple behavior involves less number of neutrons, while complex behavior involves more number of neutrons. A combination of simple behavior. Next is rational or irrational behavior. This rational behavior when a person acted with sanity or reason, and there is irrational behavior when the person acted with no apparent reason or explanation, as when a man loses his sanity and laugh out loud at nobody or nothing in particular. Next one is voluntary or involuntary behavior. Voluntary behavior is an act done with full volition or will, such as when we discriminate, decide, or choose, while involuntary behavior refers to the bodily process that falls on even when we are awake or asleep, like respiration, circulation, and digestion. Aspect of behavior. First one is intellectual aspect. This aspect of behavior pertains to our way of thinking, reasoning, solving problem, processing info, and coping with the environment. Next one is emotional aspect. This pertains to our feelings, moods, temper, and strong motivational force. Next one is social aspect. This pertains to how we interact or relate with other people. Next one is moral aspect. This refers to our conscience and concept on what is good or bad. Next one is psychosexual aspect. This pertains to our being a man or woman and the expression of love. Next one is political aspect. This pertains to our ideology towards society or government. Next one is value, attitude. This pertains to our interest towards something or likes and dislikes. Determinants of behavior. First one is heredity, biological factor. This refers to the genetic influences, those that are explained by heredity. The characteristics of a person acquired from birth, transferred from one generation to another. It is the primary basis of the idea concerning criminal behavior, the concept that criminals are born. Next one is environmental factors. This refers to anything around the person that influences his action. Next one is family background. Family background is a basic consideration because it is in the family whereby an individual first experiences how to relate and interact with another. The family is said to be the cradle of personality development as a result of either a close or harmonious relationship or a pathogenic family structure. The disturbed family, broken family. Next one is childhood trauma. The experience which affect the feeling of security of a child undergoing development process. The development process are being blocked sometimes by parental deprivation as a consequence of parent or lack of adequate maturing at home because of parental rejection, overprotection, restrictiveness, over permissiveness, and faulty discipline. Next one is pathogenic family structure. Those families associated with high frequency of problems such as the inadequate family, characterized by the inability to cope with the ordinary problem of family living. The antisocial family, those that espouses unacceptable values as a result of the influence of parents to their children. Next one is the discordant or disturbed family, characterized by non-satisfaction of one or both parent from the relationship that may express feeling of frustration. This is usually due to value differences as common sources of conflict and dissatisfaction. Next is the disrupted family. This is characterized by incompleteness, whether as a result of death, divorce, separation, or some other circumstances. Maslow hierarchy of need. First one is biological or psychological needs. These motives include the need for food, water, oxygen, activity, and sleep. Next one is safety needs. This pertains to the motives of being cared for and being secured, such as an income and place to live. Love and belongingness. Belongingness is integration into various kinds of social group or social organization. Love needs for affection. Next one is cognitive needs. Our motivation for learning and exploration. Next one is esteem needs. Our motivation for an honest fundamental respect for a person as a useful and honorable human being. And we have aesthetic needs, our motivation for beauty and order. Types of conflicts. First one is double approach conflict. A person is motivated to engage in two desirable activities that cannot be pursued simultaneously. Next one is double avoidance conflict. A person faces two undesirable situations in which the avoidance of one is the exposure to the other, resulting to an intense emotion. Next one is approach avoidance conflict. A person faces situation having both a desirable and undesirable feature. It is sometimes called dilemma because some negative and some positive features must be accepted, regardless which course of action is chosen. Next one is multiple approach avoidance conflict, a situation in which a choice must be made in between two or more alternatives, each has both positive and negative features. So we have examples of phobia. First one is acrophobia, fear of high places; agoraphobia, fear of open places; algophobia, fear of pain; astrophobia, fear of storms and lightning; claustrophobia, fear of closed places; hematophobia, fear of blood; mysophobia, fear of contamination or germs; hydrophobia or aquaphobia is a fear of water. Next one is monophobia, fear of being alone. Next one is nyctophobia, fear of darkness. Oclophobia, fear of crowds. Patholophobia, fear of disease. Pyrophobia, fear of fire. Syphilophobia, fear of syphilis, and zoophobia, fear of animals. The sexual deviation or disorders that affecting males. First one is erectile insufficiency or impotency. It is a sexual disorder characterized by the inability to achieve or maintain erection for successful intercourse. Next one is premature ejaculation. It is the unsatisfactory brief period of sexual stimulation that result to the failure of the female partner to achieve satisfaction. Next one is retarded ejaculation. It is the inability to ejaculate during intercourse, resulting to worry between partners. Those affecting females. First one is arousal insufficiency or rigidity, a sexual disorder characterized by partial or complete failure to attain the lubrication or swelling response of sexual excitement by the female partner. Next one is orgasmic dysfunction, a sexual disorder characterized by the difficulty in achieving orgasm. Next one is vaginismus or vaginismus, the involuntary spasm of the muscle of the entrance of the vagina that prevent penetration of the male sex organ. Next one is dyspareunia. It is called painful of sexual acts in women.